Welcome to Inside Taiwan. I'm Yvonne Neto. After 3 years of renovation, Taoyuan International Airport's Terminal 1 was reopened officially on July 27th. President Ma Ying-jeou, speaking at the opening ceremony, said that he was relieved that the airport services are no longer a concern. The terminal has become brighter and is now facilitated with electronic equipment that provide a variety of services. Next year, the Ministry of Transportation and Communication will open bids for the construction of the third terminal and the third runway.
President Ma Ying-jeou visited the renovated terminal, inspected the all-new check-in desks in the spacious new hall and paused to look in the souvenir shops and the nostalgic designed restaurants with Taiwan specialties from around the island. This was the first working day at the newly renovated terminal. The president said he doesn't have to worry anymore about infrastructure problems at the airport. In fact, on the evening of July 26th, just before his visit, one of the toilets on the third floor was flooded. Construction company officials said that it was being tested at the time and the problem was fixed. They also said that construction of the third terminal is going ahead as planned. The Ministry of Transportation and Communications said that when the first terminal is up and running, it will process 3 million more people than previously. However, this still isn't enough to meet demands, and next year bids for the construction of a third terminal will go ahead. At the same time, a third runway will be built at Terminal 1.
The recruitment drive for 558 post office workers attracted over 8,000 applicants, which gives a success rate of just 6.9%. During the physical exam on Saturday afternoon, the applicants had to move 30-kilo bags of post back and forth at a run. The age range of the applicants made the competition fierce.
The applicants had to carry 30-kilo bags of post and run back and forth over a 5-meter area. The higher they could carry the bags off the ground, the better their marks. And if the bags touched the ground, they lost marks. Most applicants finished this part of the application process drenched in sweat. This 42-year-old woman, Ms. Chiu, wants to start a new career now her kids have grown up and did a lot of physical exercise to prepare for the exam. The post office is looking for 558 postal workers and 8,042 people applied for the jobs. 1,118 people were chosen after the written exam to take the physical test. Although it involved heavy physical lifting and outside activities, many women took the test. Post office officials said that because postal workers have to be outside in all types of weather, it was a physically demanding job, and there were also dangers like aggressive dogs to contend with. Thus, they need a physical test. Approximately 20% of entrants would leave the job in this sector of the post office. It is a stable job with a wage of 28,000 NT dollars a month with other benefits and always attracts a lot of entrants.
Newly released autopsy report of Army Corporal Hong Zhongqiu showed that he died of heat stroke after being forced to perform excessive drills, and that his death was not an accident but inflicted by others. This contradicted the results issued by the Army, as the Hong family demands further explanation. Meanwhile, former Vice President Annette Lu and Democratic Progressive Party Chairman Su Zhenchang visited the Hong family to pay their respects.
More than 3 weeks after his death, Hong Zhongqiu's autopsy report was released. According to medical examiner Shi Taiping, Hong's death was inflicted by others and the result of heat stroke caused by excessive drills. Shi's conclusion conflicts with the initial findings of the military's own investigation, which ruled Hong's death an accident. Vice President Annette Lu, who visited the Hong family home on the 26th, took advantage of the opportunity to blame President Ma Ying-jeou for Hong's death. According to Lu, Ma was too busy campaigning for the Kuomintang chairman election to care about Hong's death when it was first reported. Lu said Ma should therefore be recalled or at the very least be punished for this crime. Democratic Progressive Party Chairman Su Zhenchang also visited the Hong family, but the family was more concerned with uncovering the truth behind Hong's death.
Ministry of National Defense publicized the three major flaws in the military's handling of Army Corporal Hong Zhongqiu's detention and death in response to President Ma Ying-jeou's demand for a comprehensive reform on military affairs. Minister of National Defense Gao Huazhu admitted to the ministry's failure to minister by law, mismanagement of the military detention facilities, and inappropriate first aid measures.
On the 26th, Premier Jiang Yuhua, National Defense Minister Gao Huazhu, and Minister without Portfolio Luo Yingxue reported to President Ma Ying-jeou on a reform plan aimed at protecting human rights in the military. During a subsequent press conference held by the Ministry of National Defense, Gao detailed 13 reforms aimed at correcting major faults that resulted in the death of conscript Hong Zhongqiu. The three faults include failure to follow proper administrative procedures, improper implementation of the military's confinement policy, and improper emergency response procedures. Human rights reforms will also be undertaken to the military's confinement, punishment, and training programs. According to Gao, the investigation into Hong's death would be thorough and comprehensive, regardless of who is ultimately at fault. Gao further refuted reports that his resignation has been accepted by Ma. In regards to the transfers of two 269th Brigade commanders, Chen Yiming and Yang Fanghan, the MND said further personnel transfers may take place in the short term. The Citizen 1985 Alliance will be holding a demonstration on August 3rd to call for a clean and thorough investigation into Hong's death and implementation of human rights reforms in the military.
Taiwan has experienced a spate of animal bites by either pets or wild animals suspected of being infected with the rabies virus. On July 24th, a woman was bitten on her toes by a shrew, which she killed for tests of rabies, and the result was positive. Taiwan County government immediately sent 6,000 packs of rat poison to the public to prevent the further spread of rabies.
On July 24th, the woman was suddenly bitten on her foot in her Taidong city home by a shrew that was acting strangely. She killed the shrew and sent it for testing to Taidong County Animal Disease and Animal Health Inspection Office, who found it tested positive for rabies. Preliminary tests show that it may be type 3 of the 7 types of deadly rabies virus, which has a lower incidence of causing death. The woman was taken to hospital for observation, but since she had only a minor laceration, doctors felt there was no need for a rabies vaccine. Since July 22nd in Taidong, there have been other cases of humans bitten by animals, but so far only ferret badgers and money shrews have been found to carry the rabies virus. However, since it seems that the rabies virus has spread from the mountains to the city, people are worried. The Taidong County government has strengthened precautions as, in addition to continuing weekend vaccination of dogs and cats, they began issuing 6,000 packages of rat poison to the public. But both vaccines and rat poison are running out. In addition, frontline veterinarians in Taidong are busy this week giving rabies vaccinations for dogs and cats. 2 vets were themselves bitten by pets, but staff haven't been given rabies vaccinations. Taidong County government wants to provide 200 frontline vets with rabies vaccinations.
Stray dogs captured nationwide will be vaccinated against rabies, and free rabies shots are being offered to pets as part of government's effort to prevent the spread of the disease. Council of Agriculture held a meeting with 21 animal rights groups on Friday that the vaccinations are being done to prevent potentially infected strays from attacking and spreading the disease to wild animals, other dogs, or humans. Some groups pointed out that there is currently a shortage of rabies vaccines at animal hospitals.
The Council of Agriculture Department of Animal Industry will give free rabies shots to animal protection groups and individuals, vaccinate stray dogs, and then capture and vaccinate stray animals in mountain areas to avoid having pets infected by the rabies virus carried by rodents in mountain areas. Currently, there are around 7,000 or 8,000 stray cats and dogs in Taiwan. Next week, those looked after by animal protection groups or individuals will be vaccinated. The 6,800 stray animals in government shelters will also be vaccinated. Stray animals captured in mountain areas where they may be infected with rabies will be caught and vaccinated, and townships will have to open second shelters for these animals. After all the media coverage, animal protection groups note that pet owners are very worried and there are not sufficient doses of vaccinations. Council of Agriculture, Department of Animal Industry officials say that next week 8 million shots of animal rabies vaccines will be imported. However, the number of domestic pets plus strays is estimated at 160 million, so more will be imported. Animal protection groups supported the COA move to inoculate rather than kill stray animals.
To celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Global Federation of Chinese Businesswomen, which has 47 chapters around the world now, the Federation's president, Shi Guofengzhu, spearheaded a rehabilitation bus drive. The organization was able to donate 12 rehabilitation buses and 1 ambulance to municipal governments and social welfare groups around Taiwan. On July 22nd, Overseas Community Affairs Commissioner Minister Wu Yingyi, Tainan City Mayor William Lai, and legislator Xiao Meiqing gathered in Tainan to thank the Federation for its generosity.
Representatives from the Global Federation of Chinese Businesswomen received a warm welcome in Tainan. In celebration of its 20th anniversary, the Federation donated 12 rehabilitation buses and 1 ambulance to municipal governments and social welfare groups around Taiwan. The Tainan city government and a veterans home in Tainan each received 1 rehabilitation bus, while Hualien's East Taiwan Veterans Hospital received the ambulance. A ceremony was held at Tainan City Hall to thank the Federation, with Overseas Community Affairs Commission Minister Wu Yingyi, Tainan City Mayor William Lai, and legislator Xiao Meiqing all in attendance. Around 5% of Tainan's population is disabled. One of the buses donated to Tainan was jointly donated by the president of the Federation's Arizona chapter, Huang Yulian, and the GFCBW. Huang was born in Tainan, and although she hasn't lived in Tainan for over 3 decades, she has never forgotten her hometown. The other bus was jointly donated by the Federation's Thailand chapter and entrepreneur C.K. Shi.
To encourage organ donation, the National Health Insurance Administration has decided to categorize brain death as a major illness. This in turn means that the National Health Insurance will pay for all medical expenses incurred by brain-dead organ donors while they were still alive. The measure has been approved by the Ministry of Health and Welfare and could go into effect as soon as next month.
At the end of May, an accident caused by a drunk driver left National Taiwan University Hospital Dr. Zhen Yuzi brain dead. Zhen's family decided to remove life support after a few days and donate her organs. In late June, National Taiwan University Hospital performed its 1,000th organ transplant. According to Taiwan Organ Registry and Sharing Center statistics, there are 6,182 patients currently awaiting new kidneys in Taiwan, followed by 1,132 waiting for new livers and 581 waiting for new corneas. In total, there are 8,083 patients on the organ transplant waiting list in Taiwan. To encourage organ donation, the National Health Insurance Administration has decided to categorize brain death as a major illness. This in turn means that the NHIA will pay for all medical expenses incurred by brain-dead organ donors while they were still alive. The measure has been approved by the Ministry of Health and Welfare and could go into effect as soon as next month.
Gao Tianshen, a member of the Atayo tribe and resident of Miaoli's Tai'an Township, passed away on July 15th at the age of 92. He was considered a national treasure as he was the last male indigenous person with tribal facial tattoos.
Gao Tianshen bore tribal facial tattoos on his forehead and chin. According to Atayo tradition, only those males who achieved important feats could get facial tattoos. Gao, who lived in Taiwan Township, was considered a national treasure, as he was the last male indigenous person with tribal facial tattoos. He passed away on July 15th at the age of 92, and many of his neighbors and those interested in indigenous culture expressed sadness. Now there are only 3 tribal elders with facial tattoos left in Taiwan Township, all women. As they are aged 105, 96, and 94, the township has decided to record their testimonies as a way to allow this tradition to live on.
Northern Thailand region has long been home to a special group of ethnic Chinese as a result of unique historical events. What was once an isolated military base is long gone, but those who have settled here are still fighting today on preserving traditional Chinese education. They share the beliefs of all Chinese. One should always be learning. Education should not be affected by poverty. Children should not endure hardships. Their efforts have been rewarded with extraordinary accomplishments.
华侨学校啊，目前将近有100个，学生总人数目前有2万多人，老师大概有800人左右。
我们已经看到，就是孩子已经慢慢的泰化了，所以我们就加强他们的语文能力。我们会推说话课、小型的班级竞赛。
The Thai government requires these children to attend schools taught in Thai, so they can only learn Chinese in their spare time.
泰文学校从8点到4点嘛，他4点下课，那我们5点就开始上课。5点开始上课呢，礼拜1到礼拜5呢，从5点教到8点。
少数民族你必须尊重他的文化啊。那大家还记得吗？
台北啊，推广华文教育跟很多地方不同，需要很多特别的教材，给一个特别的一个编辑啊，给予他们。
我觉得学中文是非常的好玩，还有文字也是非常的优美。
校长规定的到学校要讲华语，感谢我们的校长呢，没有校长，今天我也不会写字和读书。
我们自己可能说是蛮自豪的，觉得说也为泰国社会培植了不少的华文人才。
教育啊，才能够改变年轻一代的命运，所以我们坚持啊，要把中华文化在这边传扬出去，而用繁体字。中华民国政府几十年来都对我们照顾，恩德是绝对不能忘记的，所以我们要坚持到底。
With everyone's hard work, Chinese education is booming in the northern Thailand region. It is sharpening the skills of these children and making them shine like pearls scattered in the Thai mountains.
Welcome back to Inside Taiwan. The Ministry of Transportation and Communication originally planned the free use of the first 20 kilometers of the national highways. They were surprised when the Taiwan Area National Freeway Bureau got the results of a public survey, which supported both no free mileage and 20 kilometers free to the same degree. They will undertake another survey with the actual rates and send the results to the MOTC for approval. If the ETC hardware passes independent checks in 2 to 3 months, then payment for mileage on national roads could be implemented by October.
The Taiwan Area National Freeway Bureau offered 3 choices of payment for national roads, including no free mileage, 15 kilometers free mileage, and 20 kilometers free mileage in a public survey. The Ministry of Transportation and Communications originally thought that the public would support the 20 kilometers free mileage option. However, the results were inconclusive, as about the same numbers supported both no free mileage and 20 kilometers free. They will ask 2 survey companies to redo the survey. So as not to influence the surveys, the MOTC is refusing to disclose the degree of support for either of these options. They say they will do a financial analysis of the results of the second survey and base a decision on this. After independent testing of the electronic payment systems, the system will be implemented. The testing will be done by an independent third party, so they do not know when the results will be out. The Taiwan Area National Freeway Bureau said that it would take at least 2 to 3 months, so that payment for mileage on national roads could be implemented by October.
Pingtung County's Guangchun Borough is home to Taiwan's sole parachute site. The site is used as a training ground by the military's special forces, which often attracts many spectators. The Chaozhou Township office, therefore, hopes to combine parachuting with local cuisines to attract tourists to the area.
Many spectators have gathered here in Pingtung County's Guangchun Borough to watch the Dragon Team's special parachute performance. The 6 parachuters jump from a height of 8,000 feet, thrilling spectators as their colorful parachutes unfold in the air. At the same time, the tourists enjoy shaved ice topped with hot glutinous rice balls, which is one of Chaozhou Township's culinary specialties. The Chaozhou Township office hopes that the combination of parachuting and local cuisine, along with special promotions and events, can successfully attract tourists to the area.
The 24th day of the 6th lunar month is celebrated as the birthday of Lord Guan, who is a legendary figure in the Chinese history. Taoyuan's Puji Temple, which has worshipped Lord Guan for over a century, holds a pilgrimage every year to celebrate his birthday. This year, temple officials decided to expand the scale of this pilgrimage, with more than 1,000 devotees accompanying the Lord Guan sculpture back to the presidential office.
Accompanied by drums and gongs, a martial arts procession makes its way down Ketagalan Boulevard. Following in its wake are more than 1,000 devotees from Taoyuan's Puji Temple. The devotees are accompanying a Lord Guan sculpture to the presidential office as part of the temple's annual pilgrimage on Lord Guan's birthday. A copper Lord Guan sculpture was donated to the temple by late President Jiang Jingguo in 1979. This year's pilgrimage is therefore taking the sculpture back to its original home. President Ma Ying-jeou personally received the sculpture upon its arrival. According to the Taoyuan County Department of Cultural Affairs, Lord Guan's annual birthday pilgrimage is one of Daxi Township's most important events. This year, the pilgrimage was combined with a culture and art festival to allow tourists to become better acquainted with Daxi's unique culture.
Hsinchu City's Guangdong Borough has a temple dedicated to the Tudi Gong, otherwise known as the god of earth. To ensure that the god won't be lonely and to appeal for his blessings, local residents recently found a goddess to accompany him through a ceremony.
The wedding ceremony is a grand occasion with chants and offerings of meat, fruits, and vegetables, as well as presents for the new couple. Temple officials say that they had used divination blocks to ascertain that the Tudigong wanted to take a wife before organizing the ceremony. The temple originally housed a god of wealth and the god of the earth. According to temple regulations, however, temples need to be dedicated to 3 gods, not 2. This is why they asked the Tudigong if he was willing to take on a wife. Hsinchu City Mayor Xu Mingcai and legislator Lu Xuezhang served as a witness and the matchmaker, respectively. Xu, who has presided over many wedding ceremonies, said this was the first ever time he had witnessed a marriage between gods. Meanwhile, villagers expressed their hope that this marriage would lead to greater blessings and also unite the community.
Bird watchers at Zhengwen Estuary wetland have confirmed the first sighting of sandwich tern in Taiwan since 2005. As sandwich terns are native to Europe, the Americas, and Africa, experts believe the bird was blown off course by Typhoon Sulik.
The sandwich tern mingles amongst greater crested terns and little terns, lowering its head occasionally and rearranging its feathers. It stands out due to its yellow-tipped black bill and white underparts. It was spotted by bird watchers at the Zhengwen estuary wetland on July 14th and 15th. They say this was the first time a sandwich tern had ever been seen in western Taiwan, and the last time one was spotted in Taiwan was in 2005 at the Lanyang River estuary. There are many Asian countries where they have never made an appearance. Thus, they speculate that Typhoon Sulik blew the bird off course. Sandwich terns are on average 36 to 46 centimeters long and feed on small fish. They prefer to roost on uninhabited islands and reefs and appear on sandbanks to forage for food.
Welcome back to Inside Taiwan. Let's go take a look at some of the cultural events being held around the island. Thanks for joining us at the Taipei studio. I'm Yvonne Neto. We'll see you same time tomorrow.
在侨委会委员长吴英义和副委员长吕元荣的欢迎下，日本妈祖会会长曾凤兰带领40名成员来到侨委会拜会。第一次回到台湾，预计停留4天，除了接受总统马英九的接见，也会到新港、北港以及彰化县等地的妈祖庙参观，进行一场宗教的文化交流。
每个人都是侨领，他们很高兴的参加这一次的拜访。而且非常荣幸赚到了委员长跟副委员长都出席来接见我们。无论如何，我们要完成使命，把这个马祖的文化交流传给日本跟台湾，这是我做会长的责任。
日本妈祖会成立35年，会员大部分来自关东地区，希望透过妈祖的信仰凝聚日本侨胞对中华民国的向心力。除了每年定期召开的大会，在有心人士的帮忙下，妈祖会已经在日本东京新宿地区买下一块地，要建造妈祖庙，预计在10月份正式落成。
妈祖会啊，这个是第一次啊，在已经成立了35年，但是啊，今年啊，因为有很善心的人士来建立3亿啊的土地啊，盖了一个很漂亮的一个妈祖庙，他们呢今年第一次啊祖传到台湾来服务，要把妈祖的信仰在日本跟台湾的结合起来，他也要把很多日本人对妈祖的信仰全部都把它这个融合起来，大家一起来信仰妈祖，我觉得是一个很好的一个活动。
妈祖会不只是祈求妈祖保佑天下，也希望能够宣传台湾的固有文化。曾会长表示，未来将朝成立日本妈祖国际交流会的方向迈进，要发扬妈祖济世救民的精神。台湾宏观电视卢维忠、钟建刚台北采访报道。